Prof's grumpy assistant wants us to tell him a palindrome. The question is, what exactly are palindromes? Well, palindromes are these interesting words which read the same both forward and backwards. For example, take Malayalam, Malayalam, whether you read from left to right or you read from right to left. Similarly, civic, madam, race car, all these words are palindromes because they read exactly the same from left to right as well as from right to left. This is an interesting field. You can learn more about this following this link. What we are interested in is how can I determine if a word is a palindrome in Python. Now it turns out the best way of doing this is to use string slicing, which is the act of getting new string from an existing string. So what we will do is to create a new string that is a reversed version of the original string. Compare the two. If the two are equal, then the word was a palindrome. Let's see this in action. So I come in here. Let me stop this for now. I say, okay, let me reverse this word by creating a new string. Now, some of this may look a little bit alien because we are using the slicing syntax. But basically this will get the string to be reversed, and we can convince ourselves of that by just printing this word r. And let's just see this in action once. Let's say it says give me a palindrome. I give a word car just to demonstrate the reversal. Notice when I print word r, it's in fact rac. That's what I wanted. Let's take one more example. This time round I'll give an example of, let's say, actually a palindrome. So let's say CIVIC. Now I reverse this, it still looks like CIVIC, which is what I expected because this is a palindrome. Now to put my code, make my code complete, I can just say if word is equal to word R. Now notice here I must put a double equal to because I'm checking for equality. I can say print, say palindrome. Of course, that doesn't mean that the assistant becomes happy. You can always find some flaw, like the palindrome is not long enough, or anything like that. And obviously, if it's not these two are not equal, then this is not a palindrome. Let's just test this. First, let me try a word which is not a palindrome. Let's say I give MALT. Reverse is TLAM, which is clearly not a palindrome, and hence I see a nope being printed here. This time round, let's say, take another example. Let's try a palindrome. So I say MALAYALAM. Indeed, the reversal is exactly the same, and this is a palindrome. Before I wrap this up, I want to make an interesting point. Remember, Python is fundamentally case sensitive, which means that even when I'm giving a palindrome, I have to be careful of the cases. So for example, if I give, let's say, race car, like the way I've given, notice I've given a capital R here. This will be seen as not a palindrome because notice what happened. I reversed the string. My small r came in the beginning. The word is the same, but these cases do not match, and hence this condition comes false. And hence the interpreter thinks this is not a palindrome. Obviously, our assistant won't like this at all. But we can fix this, as we know, by comparing the lowercase versions of these two strings. So if I do this, then I can still have my code running. Let's just take one more example here. Say what? Tell me a palindrome. Let's say this time I tell madam, and notice I'm giving big M there, but still it figures out this is a palindrome because of the lower method. Interestingly, this logic can be extended to handle sentences which are palindromes, but the situation gets a little bit more involved because really there are possibilities. For example, take this sentence, step on no pets. In this case, if I look at it in a reverse way, it's basically step space on space no and again space and pets. So you notice that the logic will keep working once we look at the lowercase capitalization taken care. Then I can just reverse the string and compare, and in fact this logic will work. However, there are some other kind of sentences where this thing gets a little bit more involved. For example, here, was it a car or a cat I saw? Now in this case, when I reverse this string, it's was space I space t, which means it's not going to match with it over here. Worry not, however, because we can still determine a palindrome. We can remove all the spaces, all the punctuations using, for example, the split and the replace methods as we have seen before. And we can then make this go through our logic. First, remove the punctuations and stuff, remove the spaces, reverse, and then see if the two match. I hope this gave you an idea on how you can extend this to sentences. Also, you learned something new in this whole process. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.